Hello everyone, welcome to another video of my channel. Today I'd like to discuss about CSS loader, or simply saying CSS preloader. As we have got a lot of CSS frameworks and third-party libraries, using varieties of loaders is really a matter of a second and we can use it very easily. But today what I want to focus is developing CSS loaders from scratch. So let's get started. Let's start with the circular loader at first. We will be using only HTML and CSS to show this loader or to develop this loader. Let's see how we can do this. At first, let's take a div element. Let's give a name, maybe a class name. Let it be loader1. Now we will do the magic, or everything will perform everything in CSS and develop the loader, circular loader. The common tricks of developing a circular loader is at first making a square. So let's make a square of certain height and width. So let's give a height, let's say 60px, and same width. And now we need to give a border. So if you have a look at this top right, top left corner, you can see something, a square. Let's take it to a bit middle. Let's make the border a bit thick. Okay, let's take it to a bit more center. Now the moving part of the loader will, its length is like 1/4 of the whole length of the loader. So we will add color to a certain portion, 1/4 portion of the loader. Let's say it is the top border. Let's make the width a double. Now if we want to make a circle, we will use the common tricks, that is we will use border radius, and the border radius will be simply 50%. Let's give a border radius property. So now we got our loader, but it is in static position. We need to make it move. Now the question is, let's see, we rotate it. So there is a CSS transform property that has value like rotate, and we can define the degree of the angle by which it will be rotated. Let's see, if we give it 90 degree, what we see. So if we give it 90 degree, it will move like this. If we give it 180 degree, so in this way this is rotating. But we cannot simply do it like this way, that we are changing the rotate property and this is changing right like this. So we need to take help of the animation property. So let's add an animation property. So the animation property takes an animation value, which is most of the time which is the keyframe. Keyframes means in different state of the animation what it will look like. Suppose in 0% the rotation will be in 0 degree, suppose, and the 100% it will be like 360 degree. So let's at first define the keyframe. Let's name it as spin. Now the thing is that what will be at the 0%. At 0%, suppose we want to rotate it at an angle to 0 degree. So we'll write this 0 degree. That means at the very beginning it will be like this. Now let's define what will happen in 100%. We want to rotate it like 360 degree. Now let's apply the animation property. At first we will give the name of the animation, which is spin. Now we will be giving the animation time property. That means in what time the one cycle of the animation will be completed. Let's give it to 1 second. Now we will be giving the, so as you can see, after giving the value 1 second, it has moved one time. And now we will giving the speed. What will be the speed of this animation? Let's give it linear, which means the speed of the animation will remain same throughout the animation, throughout the cycle. And the last value we are interested in is we want this to happen infinite times. So we will give that at the animation timing function, which is infinite. And now let's see the magic. We have successfully created this circular loader. So we'll start developing our next loader from where we stop. In our next loader, what we'll be doing is like similarly like this, but here we can see one moving portion. In our this loader we'll have two moving portions vertically inclined to one another, or remaining at a distance of 180 degrees. So let's stop the animation at first. Now since this blue portion is at the top, we need to make another similar portion at the very bottom. We can do it by giving a border bottom. So we got similar two sections, and now we do not need this grayish portion. Let's remove it. We do not need this grayish portion. Let's make it transparent. We make this border transparent. Now let's run the animation again, and we got our second loader. The next loader we will be developing is a kind of a straight line or linear loader. So let's start it. For this one we'll have to take another node. Let's give it a name, this class, like color. We are done with the HTML part. Now let's focus on the CSS portion. Our loader will be a linear or straight line. Let's give it a height of say 10 px, and let's let it width be 200 px. Let's remove these things. We can very well change this height and width according to our needs. Now at first, in this loader, the loader class will be the outer division and the color class will be the inner division, kind of. So we give this loader class a color like grayish color. We are giving it a grayish background color. We'll be giving a position relative because the color section will have to be absolute because it will be just above it. So we can see this loader here, the outer section. Let's take it to the middle by giving auto margin. Let's say 50 px. This is the vertical margin, and let the horizontal margin be auto. So it has come to the middle. Now let's write the CSS code for the color class. So this color one here, the animation will take place. At first, let's give it a width. Initially the width will be 0. What we are gonna do is increase the changing the width of this class. Let its height be similar, that means that of the loader one. We'll be giving the position absolute to make it fixed with the outer div, and we'll be giving it a bluish color so that we can see the change perfectly. So if we increase the width, let's say it's 10 px, so we can see that this bluish color is working. Now if we make it say 70 px, it is changing. So now we can change the width of this color span. Now our concern is to make it add an animation here so that we can do this thing say infinitely. That means this bluish color will be increasing or will be going from this left to right, and when it is full, that means 100%, it will go to its initial position and again repeat the same procedure. So let's do it with the help of an animation. So we will need to add a keyframe. Let's name it linear progress. Now what we can do, we can set the width at different percentage. Let's say at 0% it will be 0, at 25% it will be 25%. Similarly for the other percentage we will keep it the same. You can play around with it, making the percentage, like changing the percentage of width with the percentage as per your wish. Let's assign this keyframe in the animation property. Here our animation property will be inside of the color class. Now here its name is linear progress. As we can see, we have given the name of the animation. It has started working, but since we have given the animation time only 1 second, it is going too fast. Let's increase it a bit. Now it is, the whole process is, one cycle is taking place in 4 seconds. So it looks quite perfect. So this is it. In this way we have implemented a linear progress bar. Now we'll be moving to our next loader. It is kind of pretty much simple. Here the thing we'll be doing is we'll show a loading text along with an ellipsis, that means 3 dots, which will be animated. Here we are writing loading. Let's make it its position absolute and give it a top and left value. We can add some decorations to the font by giving font size and font weight and also color. Now it's looking good. Now the next task is to add the ellipsis. We'll be adding the ellipsis using after pseudo element. So at first we'll need to give the content, the value, the ASCII value for this ellipsis, which is this. Let's give the same color here. Now let's add an animation at first, a keyframes. It is saying that the width will be 0 at 0% and the width will be 30 px at 100%. We will apply these keyframes into this ellipsis section. Let's give the time 1 second, but this is not working. For this to work, what we need to do is apply overflow hidden, and also need to give a display property which will be inline block. Now this is working, but okay, let's give it infinite time. But this has gone a bit up, let's take it to the bottom sections. So we need to apply the vertical align property, which will be bottom. Now the animation is working, but the ellipsis animation is not looking so perfect because it is stopping somehow, right? If we check with linear timing function, how does it look? It looks like this. But if we want to make it more or play around with it, we can use another linear timing. We can make this animation better using another animation timing function named steps. The steps function takes two parameters. The first one is the number of steps we want to divide our animation into. Let's say it 4, and giving another property saying whether we'd like to give it start or end. So now it looks a bit better. Here these steps means we are dividing our animation into 4 steps, and this end means our animation will start at the very end. Thus we have implemented this simple and straightforward loader. Thank you very much for watching the video. The link of the CSS codes have been given in the description section. If you find this video helpful, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing the channel. Thank you.